Hi, it's Rob. Welcome to another video. Thanks for joining me. And recently up on my channel, if you're a subscriber, you get the added bonus of being able to choose what sort of videos I do. So I put a poll up and the most popular video choice was to show records I picked up from the charity shop. So my local charity shop is Emmaus, which is in Mosley, very close to the railway station. So if you're in Greater Manchester, you go to Mosley railway station. It's about a 2-minute walk. It's over 2 floors. They've got their own media section, cassettes, CDs generally are £1. Albums, singles, DVDs, bric-a-brac, clothes. You can get a bite to eat, furniture. It's great. It's a really good part of the community. And yeah, I've picked up CDs, 7-inch singles. I recently did a flick video, and I'll show you which singles I picked up from that video. I've got some albums, 12 inches, and CDs to show, so I better get cracking. So the first album I want to show is one that I picked up quite a few months ago, Mysterio from 1992 by McCulloch. So this is one that I cannot remember ever seeing anywhere, but it's not that valuable. I had a look on Discogs and it's around about the £30 mark, and they had it priced under 20. I can't quite, maybe it was about 18. So this charity shop, they'll sell records for £1, but if they've got stuff that's quite valuable, they'll sell it competitively. Which is fair enough. It's local to me. I haven't got any sort of travelling time to get there. The people that work there watch the channel and I speak to them regularly, so I'm happy to buy records from there. So this is such a good album as well. I love the artwork as well. I really do like that. On the back, unfortunately, there isn't like a custom inner with it. It just comes on a plain one, but it does have quite a nice label on there. So what's the record like? It's excellent. A lot of the tracks on here would easily go on a top quality Echo and the Bunnymen album. Great start with Magical World. He does a cover of Lover Love Lover, which is a Leonard Cohen song, which I remember buying at the time. Wasn't aware that it was Leonard Cohen. I just loved it. Side 2 I think is very strong, webbed, and we have a little bit of an acoustic number with Viber Blue. Heaven's Gate features Liz Fraser from the Cocktail Twins along with Roddy Frayne. In parts on side 1 it goes a little bit baggy. This is 92. So, but all in all, this is a really good record. So I was pleased to see this in my local charity shop. I do have some cheaper things here, but they also, so quite a few months ago there was a thread going around and it was about records, CDs that you'd like to have the record, and I showed the XX, and a couple of weeks later they had this in there. I think it was certainly under £20. So this is from 2009, the XX's debut album. So this won the Mercury Prize, which is quite a prestigious award in the UK. A lot of the music on here though was sort of the backdrop to TV series. I think the 2010 general election used tracks from here, Urban Outfitters, Starbucks. So a lot of the music on this record was used for advertising campaigns. It's just got a mood of loss. Yeah, it's a very emotional album. I do like Romy's sort of shared vocal on here. There's 4 people in the band, but after this album they were down to a threesome. But yeah, this is a record. When it first came out, the first week, it only sold just over 4,000 copies, but over the next 12 months it went on to sell over 1 million copies. So this certainly was the definition of a slow burner. So yeah, really pleased to have this in the collection. The XX's debut album from 2009. Now, a little bit cheaper. So as I say, in the charity shop, everything's in genres. And I was looking in the indie genre, which there wasn't a lot. But right at the back was this box. And this is from the Mind Bomb album by The from 1989. So that's what the Mind Bomb album looks like. So, and this is the track Gravitate to Me. So this has got some goodies in it. So it's in quite nice condition. You get a stencil and it's got some nice photographs. We've got the, of course, in that period, Johnny Marr was playing guitar. And Curtis sounds like he's coughing up a fur ball. The drummer. And we have Matt Johnson on guitar, of course. And the nice picture, a little bit off kilter, of the bass player. So this track is a 10-minute dub mix. So, and it's really good. So, comes in that sleeve. And it's got a custom label on it as well. So yeah, I was pleased to find this box in such nice condition in the charity shop. Now, occasionally they have like sort of flash sales in the charity shop, and they had one probably, it must have been 3 or 4 months ago, and I must have been away, and when I came back, I wasn't expecting to find much, but I did find this Brian Ferry album. So just hang on a minute, I'm just going to get Curtis because I'm not sure if he's okay. Sorry to cause a bit of an issue on the video. I don't do pausing and things like that. So he sounded like he was coughing up a little bit of a fur ball. I know Curtis is very popular, so there's Curtis. Are you okay? So I think he's okay now. Right, he's just an attention seeker. I don't know where he gets it from. Right, so I went to the charity shop and I wasn't expecting to find much, but they had this at half price, and it's a Brian Ferry album from the mid-80s called Bête et Moi, I think it's called. And this contains the single The Right Stuff. So half price, at £2 it was a good deal, but for £1 I mean, this isn't an expensive record, but I'm not sure whether I've ever seen it for £1 before. So it's also got the inner sleeve with it as well. I panicked over the weekend because, you know, if you're on Instagram and you see a picture of an elderly, I suppose he is elderly now, Brian Ferry, and I saw a picture of him, and as soon as I saw it, my heart sunk because I thought, oh no, not Brian. But it was his 80th birthday over last weekend. For a moment, I thought he'd passed away, because I know he has had sort of health issues. So yeah, Brian Ferry is an artist that I'm very fond of, and this is an album that kind of escaped me. So pleased to have it in the collection. Now I've got a couple of 12 inches here that were, I think they were £1 each. They're in really nice condition, by a 90s British indie band who fly under the radar a little bit. You don't get people talking about Dubstar. So they had an album in '95, I think it was called Disgraceful. And if you want to know what Dubstar, to me they're quite similar to Saint Etienne. And I mean, I do like Saint Etienne, but I haven't got a lot by them. But I absolutely love these, the artwork on this one. So this one's, I think this one's Anywhere, and it's also got a purpose label as well. And as you can see, really nice condition for £1. And also from the debut album, this track, the Elevator Song, which is another one of my favourites from that album. So yeah, 12 inches are usually well priced in this charity shop. So as you can see, I picked up a couple of nice ones there. Now this is a record that I already have, Oxygen by Jean-Michel Jarre, but I don't have, well, I didn't have Equinox. So this is a double pack. So I went in the charity shop one day and there wasn't really much, and I always like to get something when I was in there, and I saw this and it was quite a nice price, so I picked it up. So Oxygen is a real, it's got a lot of memories for me, because in the late 70s a friend of mine had this record, and when we were playing Subbuteo and pretending we were in a band, we used to play Oxygen. And I think he actually got Equinox as well, but I've never had Equinox, and I really do, I think I prefer Equinox to Jean-Michel Jarre's Oxygen. So yeah, I mean, who doesn't love Jean-Michel Jarre? So yeah, I'm pleased to have that one in the collection. Now I've got some 7-inch singles, but I'm going to show the CDs now, because I know there are people who like to see CDs. So just going to get that one. So the first one I want to show is this box set. So this is a box set of the Clash's singles. So this one, as you can see, it was £25. It's in really nice condition, and I have it on display because I really like it. So you take that kind of little bit of an Obi thing off, 19 singles, and it slides out like that, and it's like brand new. It's in really nice condition. I've already played quite a few of these. So the Clash's singles are so strong. You get a nice booklet in there as well, which I haven't read yet, but I am going to. So we've got that in there. When I picked it up, the guys in the charity shop said, when they put it out, they said if Rob sees that, he's going to grab it, and I did grab it. So I'll just show you a few of the singles that are in here. We've got the Call Up, one of the latest singles. I really like the Call Up, and I also really like this one, which is Bank Robber. And what else have we got in here? We've got London Calling, and this one, always like that one, White Man in Hammersmith. So as you can see, they're very well done. Really nice thing to have in the collection. Up and down like a yo-yo playing these. Tommy Gun, and another one of my favourites is I Fought the Law. So yeah, please have that Clash singles collection. Now, a lot of the singles, a lot of the CDs are £1 each. Some of them are a little bit more expensive. Some of them are like 20p each. I'll show these that cost me £5 each. So these are Stereolab CDs. So Stereolab are a band or a group that have kind of passed me by over the years. Apart from the album Dots and Loops that I really like, I've just never sort of delved very deep into Stereolab. So these are kind of singles and B-sides and sort of outtakes. So these were released, I think, initially in about '95. So a couple of Stereolab CDs for me to sort of try and see how much I like them. So yeah, pleased to have them in the collection. Well, these were £5 each, and they were actually going to charge me £1 each for them, but I'm pretty honest, and I told them, oh no, they're £5 each. And also, so I'll find some. So I was in there today actually, and I picked up this for £1. Forever Changes by Love, which I've got a little bit of a story. So it must have been in the late 80s. I was doing a little bit of babysitting with a girlfriend, and the guy we were looking after his kids, he had probably 200 or 300 records, and I was like looking through them, and I saw this, and I'd never heard it before, so I put it on, and I'm thinking, wow, what an amazing record it was. So I've actually got it on vinyl, but this is be a nice one to have in the car. Forever Changes by Love. And what else? So this is a nice one. This is kind of a best of Japan. So Japan were only together for probably 5 or 6 years really. And this compilation, which is called Exercising Ghosts, came out in '84. So this was only £1. Quiet Life and Visions of China and Ghosts and stuff like that on it. So this is a nice one to have. And also the film original motion picture soundtrack, I suppose, of Control, which is the story of Ian Curtis. Sorry about the reflection there. So I can't, when did this film came out? Must be about 15 years ago now. Really good film, sad, poignant. On this CD we've got Iggy Pop and Roxy Music, David Bowie, Sex Pistols. It's a really good CD. And also the second album by The Hold Steady. I think it's 2005 this one, or 2002, one of those. It's called Separation Sunday. So I've not got any Hold Steady in my collection, but I've seen them on TV over the years and always kind of enjoyed them. So that's the joy of CDs these days. You know, back sort of 15, 20 years ago, CDs were like, you were lucky to get, maybe you were looking for a deal, 3 for 18 quid and things like that. Whereas now you can pick up really good stuff cheap. I know they're talking about CD comeback and, you know, CD prices increasing, but you can still go to charity shops, car boot sales, etc., and pick up CDs really cheap. Right, so this has been a nice discovery, Broken Social Scene. So I've got some birthday money on an Amazon card and I'm pretty tempted to buy this on record. I like it so much. It's the second album from 2002. You Forgot It in People. So I'd heard of Broken Social Scene, but I didn't know much about them. And I really enjoyed this. It's got hints of Mogwai, British Sea Power, a little bit of Super Furries. I really like it. Sort of, they're a collective. There's been many people sort of come and go from the band over the 20-year period they've been producing music, and this is outstanding. I really do like this, so I think I'll be, because that's the dilemma, isn't it? When you can pick up a CD for £1, why go and spend £32 on the album, on the record? How many times are you going to play it? Whereas I can have this in the car and really enjoy it. I can stream it. So, but I do have an Amazon voucher that's burning a hole in my pocket. So, but this, if I was to do like my favourite albums of this century, this has made such an impression that this might be in there. So I think I'd like to get it on record. Another CD that it's just outstanding is this Butterfly House acoustic by The Coral. So Butterfly House came out in 2010, and then later the same year they did this acoustic version of it. I'd never heard of it. It was £1 in the charity shop. This is absolutely, I mean, The Coral are probably would be one of my favourite bands of this century. I just think they're so consistent. And that was before I heard this. I think this is 10 out of 10. Absolutely love it. Yeah, really enjoyable. I put it on in the car. I don't know what I was expecting. And I listened to a few tracks, and then I'm thinking every track on here is just excellent. So give it a stream. I'm sure you'll come to the same judgment as me. This is fantastic. Also, I picked up this for £1, which is, I think this is the debut by the Pixies. So the Pixies, again, they're a band that over the years I've known about, but never really gone that deep into. And this was £1, Surfer Rosa. And when I was playing this in the car, I'm thinking, this is really good, really outstanding. So when I was at the record fair in Stockport, I picked up quite a lot of records there. I need to do a video later in the week for that. And they had this, they had the record, and it was about £30, something like that. And again, I was tempted, but then I thought, I've got a CD, why, you know, I've got a CD for £1. Why am I buying the record for £30? But yeah, this again is outstanding. Now, so these next CDs were like 20p each. So a band who have had no chart success really in the UK are the Replacements. So this is the best of the Replacements. So I do watch American channels, and quite a few of them mention the Replacements. I think they were kind of more college radio friendly in the 80s. Certainly in the UK, I was listening to this because I'm pretty blind on this. The early tracks I wasn't that keen on. I'm not that keen on not much of it really, to be honest. There was a track called Alex Chilton, which is their only hit single really. Well, it wasn't even a hit, it was like number 50 in about 2015. And that's a really good track. And there was a couple of other tracks. I think they've done an album called Pleased to Meet Me, and a couple of tracks from that album I quite enjoyed. They were a little bit more substance. Quite a lot of it reminded me a little bit of The Alarm. And I've not got any Alarm records. I like quite a few singles by The Alarm. So I was a little bit underwhelmed by this, but there was some tracks on it I liked, and that's only off one listen. I liked the track Alex Chilton that much, so I actually put it back on and played it again because I thought that was excellent. But slightly underwhelmed, but I'm going to carry on. You'd never see Replacement CDs because they just never sold in the UK. I'm sure there are some somewhere, but I've never seen anything. So to see this for 20p, and it gave me an opportunity to give it a good listen. And I'll keep it in the car, and maybe in a couple of months I might change my opinion. But as for now, I was a little bit underwhelmed. Talking of a little bit underwhelmed, I wasn't expecting to like this very much, and I didn't like it very much. But it was, like I say, it was only 20p, so I thought I'll give it a listen. There's tracks on here I know, like the Boulevard of Broken Dreams. I was playing it in the car, I'm just hoping that I didn't see someone I know and have to give him a lift, because I would have turned this off straight away, because I know people like Green Day, but I'm not in the fan club. A couple of CDs here where I am in the fan club, but for various reasons find it difficult to listen to this CD, Seldom Seen Kid by Elbow. So I've got a lot of history with this record, and it's one that I don't think I can buy the record, because I can't imagine sitting down and listening to it, even though I absolutely love it. There's kind of emotions and relationships and bad vibes, but when I'm listening to it, if you don't know this record, give it a listen, and hopefully you'll absolutely love it. Some of the tracks on here are amazing, like Mirrorball and Starlings and Weather to Fly. Even though I can't listen to it, it would still be sort of one of my favourite albums of all time. But it's just a tricky listen for me. Had it on in the car and I was enjoying it, and then, you know, your mind drifts and you turn it off. So, but I did have a copy of this, but I did actually send a copy of this to Norman Maslow, and he really enjoyed it as well. So yeah, Elbow, I've always said the first 5 albums are outstanding, and I think this one's the 4th. So yeah, if you don't know it, give it a listen. And then this has recently been reissued on its 20th anniversary, Stars on CCTV by Hard-Fi. And it's like over 40 quid. So again, this is like, am I going to buy that? So I don't think this has aged that well, even though I absolutely loved it when it came out. And I went to see Hardfi a couple of times. A kind of indie with a slight scary feel, I think. Tracks like Hard to Beat I still absolutely love, and Living for the Weekend. But a couple of the tracks on here I found a little bit not sort of aged that well. But I still had it on in the car and enjoyed it. But I don't think this is one that I need to pick up on record. So that's the CDs. And I do have a few singles here to show. So I did pick up this, is it, are they called the Cimarrons? And it's a track called, there's Blues Dub and Talking Blues, which is a nice reggae track. So these were all 4 for £1. So I did a video when I was flicking through. Most of these were on that video. Never seen this Julian Lennon single before, called Midnight Smoke. It's on the Charisma label. Really enjoyed this. Sunshine Superman by Donovan. And yeah, talking about, I did mention Norman Maslow. He's someone who absolutely loves the Byrds. And I don't have that much by the Byrds. And I'd like to get more by the Byrds. And they had a couple of singles, Changes Now, with Going Back on the B-side. Both of those I really love. And then What's Happening with Mr. Spaceman. So I do really like the Byrds. I think they're a band from the 60s who I've kind of neglected a little bit. This was a nice one. Kinks, great sleeve there. I think it's called Lost and Found, is it? Yeah, Lost and Found. I think this one's from the mid-80s on London Records. And then we have this one, which is a nice one for me. So it's Eleanor by the Turtles, of course. Those of you that know me quite well know I've got a 25-year-old daughter called Eleanor. Young Americans, David Bowie, and a couple of T-Rex singles. Telegram Sam. Some of these singles were 50p each. They weren't in the offer of 4 for £1. We've got Get It On, another T-Rex, and another Brian Ferry here. Let's Stick Together. So there's some good singles here. 50p or 4 for £1. Couple of Beatles, Help, and one of my favourites actually, Ticket to Ride, Start Me Up, and one of my favourites, Sting, Englishman in New York, beloved single, Your Love Takes Me Higher, and the House Martins. I think one of the later singles, Build, and finally the Boys in Blue. This was kind of the Oldham Athletic song, so I'm an Oldham Athletic fan. The season started, we started quite well. I've been to a couple of away games at Cambridge where we won, and at Milton Keynes. We're doing pretty well this season. I'm absolutely hooked on FPL. We're talking about football now. I'm absolutely hooked on FPL. So I'm watching loads of videos on YouTube and sorting my team out. There is an FPL fantasy vinyl community league, and there's quite a few people in that. That's a lot of fun. But if you're watching this video and you're a football fan, tell me in the comments who you support, because it'd be nice to know what team you support. So I know I think we've got a West Brom fan, and maybe a York City fan, Arsenal fans, Tottenham fans. So tell me who your club is in the comments. If you like what I've shown on this video, leave me a comment. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing to the channel. It's really appreciated, and bye for now.